Do you actually know what is happening inside your dog's brain when they suddenly turn their head away, lick their lips, or begin to obsessively groom their paws? Most owners see these actions as simple quirks, temporary moods, or even cute habits. No, behind these quiet, almost invisible gestures lies something deeply troubling. Your dog cannot file a complaint. They cannot tell you with words that their internal world is fracturing. Instead, they send encrypted messages from the world of instinct that we almost always misinterpret. Today, we are decoding 6 specific behaviors that are frequently mistaken for love or guilt, but are actually red flags for your dog's well-being. The final point on this list is the most dangerous because it is the quietest. Understanding these signals is the difference between being a pet owner and being the guardian your dog actually needs. The appeasement mask. Why the guilty look is a warning sign. You walk into the living room and find a shredded pillow. Your dog is already there. Their ears are pinned back, their body is hunched low, and they are showing whale eye, the whites of their eyes. In your mind, you've decided they know they are guilty. You might even scold them, believing this look is a sign of a moral conscience. But science tells a much harsher truth. Research has proven that dogs do not experience moral guilt for past actions. What you are seeing is an appeasement signal. Your dog is reading your anger, the spike in your stress hormones, and the tension in your shoulders, long before you speak. When your dog makes themselves small, they aren't apologizing for the pillow. They are reacting to you as an unpredictable and threatening presence. They are saying, "Please, I am not a threat. Do not hurt me." If this cycle repeats, your dog begins to associate your arrival home with fear rather than safety. You are no longer their secure base. You are a variable that causes chronic stress, the grooming loop, the dark reality of compulsive paw licking. When a dog spends minutes methodically licking their paws, most owners see it as a hygiene ritual. But if this behavior becomes frequent, or if your dog zones out while doing it, stop and look closer. This is almost never about cleanliness. In the world of canines, obsessive self-grooming is often a sign of mental hunger or sensory understimulation. Dogs are built for the hunting sequence, the stalk, the chase, and the pounce. When a dog lives in a hyper-predictable environment where these instincts are never activated, their nervous system begins to loop. Licking releases endorphins that briefly numb the feeling of boredom or anxiety. It is a form of self-medication. Over time, this becomes a compulsive disorder. Your dog is literally trying to lick away the psychological void caused by a lack of real engagement. If left unchecked, this leads to a shutdown of the dog's personality where they aren't being good. They are mentally starving in silence. The hypervigilant shadow. When clinginess is actually anxiety. Many owners take pride in their dog following them from room to room, viewing it as the ultimate sign of devotion. But there is a dangerous line between healthy attachment and a failed secure base. If your dog cannot remain at rest in one room while you are in another, this is not love. It is hypervigilance. A dog that feels truly secure should be able to relax, knowing the environment is safe even when you're out of sight. But if they jump up every time you shift your weight, their nervous system is in a constant state of red alert. They aren't protecting you. They are terrified of losing control over the only thing that makes their world predictable: your presence. This state of anxious attachment puts a massive strain on a dog's nervous system. Every time you reward this shadowing with a distracted pat, you are unintentionally reinforcing their panic, the sentinel freeze, the quiet suffering of pain masking. Have you ever caught your dog staring intently at a blank wall or standing frozen in a dark corner? Owners often joke about ghosts, but the biological reality is far more sobering. Dogs are masters of masking physical pain. This is a primal survival instinct. In the wild, an animal that shows weakness becomes an immediate target. Therefore, a dog will not always whine or limp when they are hurting. Instead, they freeze. When a dog zones out while standing, they are often retreating into their own minds to cope with internal discomfort, such as the dull ache of arthritis or a hidden infection. By freezing, they are trying to remain still to avoid triggering sharp pain, hoping no one will notice their vulnerability. If you see this sentinel behavior, your dog isn't daydreaming. They are suffering in a silence they hope you won't hear. The vulnerability betrayal. Why the belly rub is a communication trap. It's the classic scene. Your dog flops onto their back, exposing their belly. You reach down to rub it, and suddenly they snap at your hand or walk away. You feel rejected, thinking they asked for it. In the language of dogs, exposing the belly is the highest act of submission and vulnerability. They are saying, "I trust you so much that I am willing to be completely defenseless." However, for many dogs, this is not an invitation to be touched. It is a declaration of status. When you immediately reach in and start grabbing that sensitive area, you are overriding their signal and invading their personal space at their most vulnerable moment. For a sensitive dog, this feels like an attack. By doing this, you are teaching your dog that showing trust leads to physical overstimulation. Eventually, they will stop offering you this gesture of vulnerability altogether. The great silence. The withdrawal. You aren't noticing. The final red flag is the most important, and it is the one most owners completely miss. What does your dog do when you enter a room and sit down next to them? If they stand up and quietly move to another spot, not to follow you, but to get away from you, this is the loudest cry for help they can give. Most people think they just want a nap in a quieter spot. But what you are witnessing is strategic distancing. This happens when your presence has become associated with unpredictability, noise, or a lack of respect for boundaries. Maybe you frequently wake them up for a cuddle they didn't want. Dogs are social beings. Their survival depended on proximity to us. If your dog is voluntarily choosing to be in a different room while you are home, their trust is broken. They no longer see you as a source of comfort. They see you as a factor they have to manage. When a dog goes silent and withdraws, they have given up on trying to reach you. We often call dogs our best friends, but we demand more from them than any friend would ever tolerate. We ask them to understand our rules and our chaotic emotions, while we rarely take the time to learn their alphabet. Your dog doesn't need you to be perfect. They need you to be predictable. They need to know that when they communicate vulnerability, they will be heard. In the end, your dog's world is exactly as large as you allow it to be. Next time your dog avoids your gaze or quietly leaves the room, don't ignore it. Stop. Lower your energy. And give them the one thing they value more than food or play, the feeling of being understood. Because to you, this is just a dog you live with. But to them, you are the entire world.